I didn't have to man any battle stations. See, I was ship's company on my ship. In other words, if the captain of my ship wanted anything done by us motormacs or electricians or anybody, he had to put in a request to our engineer, and he had to approve it. See? But all the ship's personnel manning all the gun watches, although we went through them before we went aboard ship. See, but when I got into the diesel shop, I had no assignment. So anyhow, this morning we was down in the diesel shop, and all of a sudden, boom! Our ship, boy, it went dark, everything, the ship went up in the air, and I got blown from here clear over to the other side of that house, up against the wall. I was working at my workshop on the bench. My job in my ship was I overhauled injectors, hydraulic governors, water pumps, and big blowers and stuff like that. In other words, if a ship pulled alongside of us, we had what you call an outside crew. They went aboard the ships, they tore the stuff off, they took it, put it in a crane, and they lowered it down into the diesel shop, and then we overhauled it. Now we had one other crew that they took the heads off the motors. They took and grind the valves and did everything, put it in the tank, cleaned it up. Well, my job was otherwise. Well, anyhow, this morning it come off. I woke up, I was against the wall, and it seemed like all the lights and everything went out. Anyhow, I made it over across the wall to the ladder, or the steps, what you call it. We call it the ladder. It's a big long ladder, 2 decks below the top side. Well, that led us up into the mess hall. When we got up into the mess hall, there was a lot of sailors up there, and everybody, this and that, they wouldn't let us topside. They said, no, stay below because things were flying around. Well, I was standing there. I had one shoe on and one shoe off. I had one shoe was blown off me when I got hit. So I was standing there, and somebody popped up and says, somebody's hurt. There's blood running down the deck. And we looked around. The guy said to me, he says, hey buddy, you're hurt. I didn't know. Leg, right? Yeah. Looked down my leg, there was one. So I took and ripped my shirt off, and I took and made a tourniquet, which when I was a Boy Scout I learned how to make, see? Yeah. I put it around my leg and I stopped the blood. And I stood there for about, almost 2 hours before they left us up topside, see? So finally they did leave us go up topside. I got up there and bodies was laying everywhere. Arms blowed off, legs. I went over to, on a ship, there's rafts that just slide, you know, for safety if you get hit at sea to sail. Well, I climbed up in that raft and I sit there. Pretty soon there's other ships on the ship. Other ships come over to help us, hospital ship and everything. 2 sailors come up to me and asked me, you hurt? And I said, oh, I'm all right. They looked at my leg, and this one, he opened up his bag and he gave me a little can of stuff. He throwed my leg over, he dumped this sulfur drug right into the hole in my leg. He says, that'll be okay. So I sat there for 3 hours till they got a couple more come around and offered my help, and I took and told them, I said, there's other ones needs help, go help. What do you think? They bring my engineering officer in one of those wire cages that they put you in. They set him right down, right alongside of me. There I look at him, and he's got both arms blown off right at the shoulder. Wasn't bleeding or nothing. It was just white as flesh could be. He seemed kind of a shock. All he did was move his eyes around. After 3 hours, I got sick, I couldn't help it. So then they finally come and they put me in a wire cage, loaded me down over the ship, put me in a boat, took me over to the hospital ship, took me down in they laid me on a table. One sailor got up and sat down on my back. 2 other ones held my arms, and another one held my leg, and this doctor took and patched up my leg. No no cellophane or anything. He just patched it right up. So I was in that hospital ship for about 2 weeks. And my ship, it was damaged. It was sitting this way. The fantail would have sunk, but they closed the hatchways off to save it. Because if we'd have got hit up the front, the diesel shop would have been flooded. Because in the diesel shop there was a hole below that's big enough to drive a Jeep in.
I got a picture of your ship.
So then, yeah, I got a picture. So then I got reports that they was going to tow my ship back to Okinawa to get repairs. But our ship company said no. They had a dry dock there. They put it in dry dock. In a month's time, they had our ship patched up. They says, oh, now they're going to leave. Everybody that was in the hospital ship or in the hospital or on the beach, you had to be able to walk. I couldn't walk. I tried to walk. Every time I put pressure on the leg, I'd get a real thin coating over this cut. It just popped like a gun. It just broke loose. And I said, oh, come on. So they got me crutches, and they left me get back aboard my ship. And I was on there about a month before I got back down in the diesel shop. Then we made the, after that, we made the invasion of Okinawa. That was it. All over.